Well, hello once again, fellow Titanic lovers. Wherever you are, I hope you're safe, because at this moment, we've got a Category 1 hurricane bearing down on us in New England. So, my fellow modelers, if you live in New England, heed all the warnings and stay safe. So what I want to show you guys today is another Titanic model. Now, I did show you guys the 1700 version of the Airfix R.M.S. Titanic. And it's an interesting story that actually ties into this one. I had seen it online on eBay, and it was a really good price. And it was listed as the 1/400 scale, but it had the 1/700 scale picture. So I messaged the seller and I asked if it was indeed the 1/400 scale, and they assured me that it was. Well, I get the box in the mail and I open it up, and what's in it? The 1/700, after even asking. So I figured since I had it, before I returned it, I'd make a video, and that's what I showed you guys. I showed you the 1/700 scale, but I ended up returning it, and I ended up getting the 1/400 scale version of the Airfix R.M.S. Titanic. You can see a lovely illustration. These paintings are really amazing on all the model kits. This set includes 8 acrylic paints, 2 brushes, and the poly cement. Multicolored parts. And you can see the finished model, what it looks like. 67.4 millimeters long. And you can see the base. And those of you that are wondering, yes, this is probably the same mold as the Academy 1/400 scale Titanic that I had shown you guys. Looking at the side of the box, you can see this is kit number A50146A. And this side of the box is all the warnings in various languages, all the way to the what do you call that? The mark. And let's see, is there a date on here? I don't see a date. If it's staring me in the face, I will put it up on the screen. That's on one of the sides of the box. The ends, 1/400 scale R.M.S. Titanic with the same illustration. And I think that's the same on the other side. Yes, it is. And the other side, we can see there's a nice illustration of the finished model. Again, multicolored parts, and it's got some information on the side in regards to this wonderful ship. The R.M.S. Titanic will go down in maritime history as not just the longest and most luxurious passenger ship afloat upon its launch in 1912, but also the most infamous, due to its now legendary maiden voyage. Despite warnings of ice given by other ships, the Titanic steamed into the side of an iceberg on the night of April 14, 1912. This tore a large hole in the side of the hull, overwhelming the ship's frame watertight compartments. As water poured in, the order was given to abandon the ship, with women and children being poised over the men. Of the 2,224 passengers on board, just 711 would survive, the vast majority being women and children in first and second class. Today, more than 100 years after its maiden voyage and sinking, the legend of the Titanic continues to capture the imagination of the world. Built by Harland and Wolff in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and launched in May 31st, 1911, the Royal Mail steamship Titanic was one of 3 Olympic-class sized passenger ships built for the White Star Line. The largest, most luxurious passenger ships ever built at the time, Titanic sailed on her maiden voyage from Southampton to New York, April 10, 1912. Captained by Edward J. Smith, Titanic left Southampton, setting course across the Atlantic for New York with over 2,000 people on board. The passengers range from the poorest immigrants traveling steerage of third class to the rich and famous such as John Jacob Astor and his wife Madeline, millionairess Margaret Molly Brown, and White Star Line's managing director J. Bruce Ismay and the ship's builder Thomas Andrews. This model of the infamous and tragically doomed Titanic comes in pre-colored plastic, making it suitable for both beginners as well as advanced modelers of all ages. So that's everything that's on the box. So why don't we go ahead, we'll take it to the desk and I'll show you guys what's inside. Okay, so again, you can see that beautiful illustration. So let's get it open. And it looks like there's only 2 pieces of tape. Here we are. And as usual, I'll put up the instructions for you guys. I like to share absolutely everything with this about the model kit as possible with you. Alright, so right off the bat, let's take a look at this big beautiful hull. Again, this is the exact copy of the Academy. Let's get the plastic open. Here we are. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And this is awesome because you can see all the portholes are all open. So if you wanted to light this kit, you wouldn't have to do any drilling. Again, just like the Academy. You can even see it's got Titanic modeled in the plastic on the hull. You see all of the plating. Really nice. Pre-colored. You could probably, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to just build a model as is, and if you want, just put the lights in. It's molded in black, so there probably wouldn't be a lot of light leak. Let me show you guys. You can see how it would look lit, so you won't really have to worry about light leak. But those of you that are going to be doing the 1/200 scale Titanic, none of those holes, the portholes, are drilled, so they all have to be drilled out. And it's nice. It's refreshing to see them already drilled, because it's nice and smooth. There's no flash. You know, sometimes the drill will melt the plastic, but this is the hull. Do a nice sail by. You can see the plating, the doors. This is a very nice mold, and it's popular because Academy, Airfix, and I don't know, this might be the same mold that Revell uses too. I'm not sure. I've showed you guys the 1/400 scale Revell Titanic, the 100th anniversary edition. I think there are more differences in the Revell mold than the Airfix and the Academy. Underneath you can see the bilge keels. Those are not separate pieces. They're molded into the plastic. This is the port side, and you guys can see the starboard side. Very nice. All right, what else do we have in here? Move on to the first parts tree. And it looks like there's some brown parts and some black parts. So let's get this open for you guys. Alright, let's take a look at the brown trees first. This looks like the masts. You can see where it says Titanic, R.M.S. Titanic. And you figure that the mast would be taller, 1/400 scale, but I guess it'll fit into place. It's probably just an optical illusion that they look smaller. And it looks like we got the park benches that go along the observation deck, the back, the aft end of the ship, the stern, and those that are spread throughout the ship, but you can stop during your stroll and relax. So we got the tree with the black, and we got the tops of the smokestacks. And again, this is nice if you don't want to paint, or if you're not really, if you're new to modeling, this would be nice because you don't have to get too technical with this. Just follow the instructions and you put together a pretty nice representation of the R.M.S. Titanic. I think these are the inserts. And you can see the grills that are going to go on top. Of course, the fourth stack being the dummy stack. And this looks like a base to something. I'm not sure what that's for. You can see the rat lines. And it looks like nice. They actually have the chain molded in black to put down at the bow of the ship for the anchors. You can see they actually molded the shafts where the propellers are going to come out in black, so you'd probably have to touch that up with paint to make it match. What do we got? We got a gold. See, again, this is the same mold from the Academy for Titanic because it's the same piece. So let's open this and we'll check this out because it has decals in it. So first thing I noticed, we have the clear parts. Look at that. You can see where the grand staircase is going to be, forward and aft. You can see the beautiful domes. They do have a lot of detail too. Look at that. I hope the camera can pick up how amazing that is. The grand staircase, first class. That'll be tough to paint. I can probably paint the inside ever so slightly to try to get those ridges and all the frames painted in black, but that'll be pretty tough to do. I'm sure, I don't know if there's a photo etch aftermarket to put up in there. You can see the panels that are going to go over that section. You can see some of the other clear parts. Let's see. Well, we got these right here. Let's check these out. They're not water slide decals. These are actually stickers. And you can see the flags. You got the British flag, the American flag, the white star line, and what is that one? It's small, I can't really make that out. Could be a white star logo, but these are actual peel and stick stickers. So I don't know if they're probably going to be more because these are just the flags. And then finally we've got the gold molding tree. The tree molded in gold plastic. Again, you get the R.M.S. Titanic. This is kind of a nice little plaque or something to put on the side of the model. I think the Academy had two prongs coming out where it would stand up on its own. I'm not sure. You see the nameplate. Very nice. And I like the way they put it red with the gold lettering raised. Black is nice too. And you can see they actually have the wheel for the stern modeled in gold. And they got the anchors modeled in gold as well. And the propellers. Of course, the one in the middle has the 4 blades, and the one on port and starboard have 3. And we have the, look like these are going to be the posts for a base. So that's very nice. And again, like in all my videos, I will put up all of the instructions for you guys. And we'll move on to the base. Nice, and you can see it's got the rigging inside the base. It had been a while since I did the Academy 1/400 scale for you guys. I think that one had rigging too, didn't it? Yeah, you can see all the rigging. You know, interesting, as expensive as the Trumpeter one was, it does not come with rigging at all. Matter of fact, the detail sets don't come with rigging either. But that's another video. Again, we get the bottom of the base, R.M.S. Titanic. beautiful. You can see where the nameplate is going to go, the gold one. And you've got the pillars that'll hold up the ship. And you've got, if you want to light the ship, you've got this one that's open. You could run a wire and put a switch down at the bottom. The nice solid base. Very nice. So, let's see. We get right into the decking. And this has 2 decks in it. So let's go ahead, we'll open that for you guys. Okay, so you know what I really like about this is that they actually have, look, you can see the grand staircase. So when you put the dome on, you can actually be able to look inside the ship. That's amazing. And another feature that I love about this is look at it's like a map. It's all mapped out. You've got the first class entrance. You got boiler casing number 2. You've got the corridor, reading and writing room. Then we've got the first class lounge. We've got the corridor, the lounge, dry pantry, engine casing. We get the first class entrance. Again, you can see the staircase. And we've got the first class smoking room. And what's that say on the bottom? Veranda and palm court. That's really, I love that. I don't really remember if that was on the Academy one as well. It could have been, and I just might have missed it. And this is more decking. So nice. This is number 5 and 6 boiler casing. And you've got, again, the staircase that's going down. Number 3 and 4 boiler casing. And you can see the suites. Number 1 and 2 boiler casing. You got the reception room. Again, you can see the staircase. You can see the restaurant. The tables set up. Cafe Parisian. And we've got the second class smoke room. So that's really cool. I like that. Again, I don't remember if that was in the Academy one. If it's the same molding, it probably was. I'd have to go back and check, but I don't remember seeing that. Let me show you guys since it's close. We got some glue, well, what they call poly cement. Humbrol poly cement, 12 milliliters. A solvent-based cement, suitable for plastic model kits only. So it's nice how you get all of it together. You get the paint, you get the glue. So all you gotta do, really, you can open up the box, follow the instructions, and you can have a really nice depiction of the Titanic regardless of your modeling skills. Get some more information on there. So that's, might as well go right over to the paint. And this is in a zip bag. Alright, let's see. First one, we've got number 163. And I can't tell if that's green. I don't know how it's going to show up on a camera, but it almost looks green. Maybe it could be black, I'm not sure. We'll see in the instructions. And we have number 54. And it looks like it could be brown. We have number 70. And this appears to be kind of like a peach. Well, not really peach, kind of like a reddish rust kind of color. Maybe this could be used to touch up the bottom where the propeller shaft is going to come out. And then we've got 130, which is the white for the superstructure and the white parts of the ship, like the bow. And let's see, number 165, and that appears to be gray, like a gold gray. We have 186. This appears to be kind of a brown. And let's see, 113. Again, it looks like a rusty kind of brown. And there's one more. Number 61. You can see that looks kind of more like a peach or tan, orangey peach kind of color. Probably for the smokestacks, if you so desire to paint it. And let's see, is that all of them? Yep, that's all of them. So there's a total of 8 acrylic paints, like it says on the box. And some of them look similar in color, but they all have different numbers on the top. So again, we'll reference that in the instructions. And let me show you guys one of the brushes. It says it comes with 2 brushes. I don't see another one. This is one of the brushes. And let's see, we've got another parts tree. This one looks like it has more of the decking and some of the superstructure on it. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, looks like they're stuck onto the okay. The part with the handrails. So you got the bow and the stern. It's nice so where you wouldn't have to paint it if you didn't want to. It'll go right on top of the hull. You still should put in the black for the rails, maybe, because I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like in some sections there is tiny little gaps. In other sections it looks like it just goes straight through. See, it looks like there's a gap in the hand railing. So that's what's on that tree. And now we move over to the superstructure. Look at that, huh? You know, for me, it's always like seeing models of the Titanic. It's always like models of the Enterprise. To me, it never gets old. You can see the windows where they have that iconic arch on the top. Could be for the first class lounge or the smoking room. More on that side. You can see more. These trees are nice and clean. You can see more of the windows. And let's see, is the bridge on here? I don't see it yet. I don't know if that could be the bridge, but we'll find out. Again, you can see the detail. But this tree appears to be all walls. Very nice. And we got more decking. This one does not have the map or the words for the area. But you can see the stern, where the benches would go that I showed you. And you've got the aft well deck. And you've got the forward, the bow. And you've got the forward well deck. And you can see the top looking like boat deck, the boat deck where the smokestacks are going to be mounted. Same thing with these pieces. I think that's the part that'll go over the bridge, I'm not sure. These are detailed very nice. If you had wanted to just build it the way it is, it would look good. You could either take it a step further by putting a wash on these to bring out the planks. That would look very nice. Let's see, what else we got? We got the smokestacks. So this is a pretty good sized kit with a lot of parts trees. Alright. First of all, we've got that lovely orange tree for the stacks. Again, if you didn't want to paint it, you wouldn't have to. And I showed you the black parts that are going to go on top of the inserts. You can see the ladders that are going to go up the front. And the steam pipes. More steam pipes. So this is very nice. Again, you don't have to paint if you don't want to. And we move on to another white parts tree. This looks like this is more handrails. Again, the handrails would be white. You don't have to paint them if you don't want to. These are pretty delicate, so you'd want to be careful cutting these off the tree. But it looks like these, for the most part, this tree is handrails. And looks like we got another one. 1400 R.M.S. Titanic. Isn't it amazing what you can do with plastic? You could just take some injection molding pieces and turn them into the R.M.S. Titanic. Isn't it just amazing? Alright, what do we got? We got another tree. This is a larger part of the superstructure. So let's cut this one open for you guys. So, what do we got here? Nice. Looks like we got the superstructure. Either the forward end of the ship or the aft end of the ship. And we've got the opposite on the bottom. Pretty sure this is the outside part. Yeah, that's the outside part. You can see there are more walls. Look like the first class deck, the top deck, a deck, a boat deck. You can see where possibility of the smoking room, the gymnasium, and different areas in first class. Got some more walls in the middle. Again, those iconic bends on the top of the windows, those beautiful windows. This is a very large tree. You got the side of the ship. And this one looks like we got all the lifeboats. There was, if I'm not mistaken, was 16. There should be 16 lifeboats. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yes. And these look like the covers. Yep. You got the covers, and over here you got the davits. And you can see the compass platform over here. And we got some staircases. And we got some vents for the decks. Let's see. It'll look like generators that'll go on a deck. And are those the collapsible lifeboats? It could be. The davits have some nice detail to them. So there are a lot of parts on this section as well. Let's see what's left. Oh, I guess we did get our other paintbrush. It said it comes with 2 brushes. Here's the other brush. And let's see. Looks like we have some decals. These are just free at the bottom of the box. And these are water slide. You can see the Titanic, the words that are going to go on the sides of the ship at the bow. And Titanic of Liverpool is going to go on the stern. And what else is on there? I guess you have the option of doing it in gold or white, whichever you prefer. And these are just plastic bag pieces. And we have another piece of the deck. Again, we have the mapping. I love the words. you can see the wheelhouse. Actually, let me take it out for you. So this is a separate piece. What does this say? Boiler casing number 1. And then you can see the wheelhouse at the front end of the ship. The first class entrance. Boiler casing number 2. The gymnasium. Boiler casing number 3. The engineer's smoke room. Again, beautiful. Again, if you wanted to do a wash, you could bring out the planks really nicely in the detail in this. Or you could just build it the way it is, and it'll look good. Alright, that's it. Looks like that's it for the parts trees. And let's see. Yep, that's everything in the box, and the last thing is the instructions. And of course, I'll put the instructions up for you guys to check out as we go along. The first 2 pages have the same thing that I read you on the side of the box, but these are in different languages. It gives you history of the Titanic and how she met her fate. And assembly instructions, study drawings precisely, assembling before cementing parts together. It shows you how to take precautions. Those are in different languages. Advice for supervising adults. Safety rules. And next we finally get to the parts tree. So you can see the A, B, C, D, E, F, and M. There's 2 of the D. And we've got parts tree number, letter G. H was the clear that I showed you guys. J was the gold, molded plastic. We got the boat deck, A deck, and the bridge deck. And you can see they've got the rigging, the base, the brown trees. They had the masts and the benches. And that'll move us on to part 1. And you can see the building of the base. You can see where you put a little backing to the stand for the gold Titanic ship that you can have and display it along with your ship. You put the supports in to the hull and attach the propellers. Part 3. You got steps 4, 5, and 6 with the smaller parts. It looks like the assembly of the cranes and the staircases. And you can see part 7 is where you start the rigging. Part 8 and 9, more rigging. And then we go down to 10, 11, and 12. On to step 13, where you put the formation of the bow section and you put all the pieces on a deck. Again, it's a nice touch where the chain is molded in black. And then same thing for the stern in step 14. And you can see putting on some of the walls. And 15, the bridge deck. Look like the formation of the bridge walls in the front. Step 16, more wall formations. (17) Again, this would be a very easy kit to light. 18 and 19, more walls going up. And the Academy one actually does, the deluxe edition comes with LED strips and lighting. And you can see how the walls, the decks, all have those openings. So if you want to put light strips running through the bottom and a light strip up on top facing down, the whole thing would be lit very nicely. You can see the formation of the grand staircase, the top, the dome, some more vents. In step 22, we move on to the funnels. 23, 24, and 25. Funnel formation. Let's see, 26 and 27. Placement of the smokestacks, and you got the compass tower or the compass platform, and you can see where that's going to go. In step 28. Step 29, you got the other smokestack. And step 30. And this is a really good size model. I'll measure it for you guys in a minute, the 1/400 scale. Step 31, you put in a smokestack and the aft grand staircase. You can see where the rigging is coming out, and it's ready to go for the smokestacks. Part 33, section 33, more wall formation. As with 34, the placement onto the deck. Step 35, we have more handrail placement. On to step 36, more handrail placement. For safety's sake, there are a lot of handrails on a passenger ship. Step 37, you'll see the Marconi bar, where the wires would come down for the Marconi room. And then we have more of the handrail placement. 38, you can see the steam pipes that are going to go on the side of the smokestack. Step 39, you can see the rigging for the smokestack rigging. And you know, when you do that detail really brings the model where it stops looking like a toy and it actually looks like a model. About 40. I had done a win-win version of the 550 scale Titanic, and it's no different than the Revell or the other smaller models, but I put the rigging on, and what I actually did was I did the rigging for the smokestacks and I lit it, and just doing that, it made it look like it went from a toy to a model. It really makes a big difference. You can see the formations of the grills and the smokestacks on the top. Boat deck and the placement of where the bridge is going to be, and they give a photo of what it'll look like. It looks very nice. Over to step 43, you can see the port and starboard walls going on to the superstructure. 44, you can see her starting to come together. Placement of the mast. 45. (46) and 47, you got the wheel platform at the stern, and you've got more of the rigging at the bow section, and And look at all the rigging. Titanic had a lot of rigging, that's for sure. I like how they go into detail so you can make the rigging accurate. Addition of the rat lines and more of the rigging instructions in step 20. Again, that's awesome that they give the instructions for that. Even the lifeboats. So this is a really, really nice, inexpensive kit, because the Academy one is very expensive. And the only difference really is it does have photo etch, and I think it's got some wooden planks for the decks, and it's got the LED set. But you know, this one is a lot less expensive, and this one will look just as nice. And it'd be really inexpensive to light this. A couple of strips, solder in some wires, and you got a beautiful ship. Really beautiful model. And you can see the top, the cables, and where the Marconi lines are going to come off it. And you can see the section that you add the lines to. Really nice. It's really cool for the and the addition of the anchor. So it's nice that they have all the rigging mapped out for you. And finally, we've got the painting guide, if you so want to paint. And it's got the where you put the stickers and the water slide decals. You got a color key at the bottom. The numbers that were on top of the paint that I showed you. And that's it. Very nice. And again, on the front, is what I had read you on the side of the box. The R.M.S. Titanic has place in maritime history is not just the largest and most luxurious passenger ship afloat. Yeah, this is what I had showed you. It looks like there's something different over here, though. It became rapidly apparent to the officers on board that there was no chance of saving the ship. At 12:45 a.m., the first of the lifeboats began to be lowered into the water. However, the first lifeboats barely filled as passengers on board, believing the ship was unsinkable, took some persuasion to abandon the large liner and head for the small wooden lifeboats. By 2 a.m., the fact the Titanic was sinking became apparent to all. The stern had risen clean out of the water, exposing the propellers, and shortly afterwards, the water reached the boat deck. The remaining passengers clung desperately onto the top of the stern to prevent themselves from falling into the icy waters. But at 2:20 a.m., the bow and stern separated, with the bow sinking first and the stern following shortly afterwards. Of the 2,224 people on board, the ship's 711 survived, and due to the orders given on deck that they should be the first to leave, the vast majority of these were first and second class women and children. Just 75 of the 462 third class male passengers survived the sinking, with many families losing their sole breadwinner. There was a large charity drive for the survivors in the aftermath of the sinking. Much criticism of the White Star Line followed the sinking, and it transpired that there were not enough lifeboats for all the passengers, but the Titanic had complied with the laws of the period that dictated the number of boats based on tonnage, not passenger numbers. That would all change. The wreck of the Titanic was founded by Dr. Robert Ballard in 1985, and now even 100 years after its maiden voyage, a tragic loss, the legend of the Titanic continues to hold the imagination of the world. Length 261.9 meters, 53.3 meters high. The beam was 28 meters, 9 decks, a speed of 21 knots, capacity of 3,547 passengers and crew members. So the side of the box had the first half, but the instructions have the other half of the information to read to you. And that, my friends, is the Airfix version. of the 1400 R.M.S. Titanic. Like I said, the same molds from the Academy. And this is a very nice model kit. And this one is a lot less expensive than the Academy one is. So if you so choose to get this, you can make it right out of the box and put your own light strips in, and you can make this a really beautiful kit. I love the fact that it's got all the rigging and the instructions on where all the rigging goes to make it look just like the real thing. Very nice. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And until the next Titanic little goodie I got to share with you, whether it's a model or something else, then I'll talk to you guys very soon. I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot. And if you live in New England, take care, because we got a hurricane bearing down on us. So, talk to you again soon.